Hello, everybody. I am really excited to be going live with you tonight. I just gotta cue up my binaural beats drone going in the background. Oh, it's live now. Same one I've been using, the hollow tubular. I'll send you a link to it, okay, so you can binaural beat with me. Won't that be fun? I hope you're having a good night. I certainly am. It's just wonderful breakthroughs happened tonight. Some amazing conversation with the wife. We were really hashing out the difference between tree of life and tree of knowledge, good and evil. It's ways of operating, and the startling realization of how similar Western Christianity is to Hinduism. What am I speaking of? Stay tuned. Okay, I'll tell you. Hello, spirit force. I see your evening, and I'll raise you an afternoon. So here's what it was. How is Western Christianity similar to Hinduism? Divisions. 33 million gods, right? 33 million ways of connecting with the divine, and they've all got their parceled out differences, divisions. My goodness. Seems that a certain church is eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil on that one, which causes what? Death, division. That's what death is. It's division. God is not about division. He's about union, but it's not based on, do we agree? No. In fact, it must remain that we do not agree. It must remain that we don't meet together on the basis of what? The terms of the knowledge of tree of good and evil. This is what causes massive civil war eventually. And this is what we see with the political parties, right? Oh, if you agree with my judgments based on their interpretation of good and evil, then you can come join my camp. No, if you agree with my judgments, and so it's pitted against each other, and we will always be if we live in terms of that. I was seeing a vision of me and my mom, for instance. We could not be further away in our judgments, in a certain level. I think that she doesn't. She sees me going the mystical route. She'll go the exact opposite route, And so there's this division of judgments we hold to, of what we think is best or safe or whatever the case may be. And so while we're divided in that sense, love has brought us together. Love has. I just basically took her off the block list on my Facebook, so she can now see all my scandalous stuff. Actually, that's what I was sparing her from. Like, seriously, I don't post a lot of pictures of my kids. She's connected with my wife's Facebook, so to justify myself here a little bit, I was sparing her from harm, especially the fact that I didn't like any kind of discord or causing her dissonance, because she was not resonating with me. It was dissonance that it was causing, and I'm like, I'd rather spare you from that. So that's why I blocked her. All right. But I think I just unblocked her out of principle of like, no, I don't want to unblock anyone from my life. In fact, even if you hate me, you're my enemy. What? You don't agree with me? Okay, come on, give me a hug. Come closer. I want to see things from your perspective. Does it mean that we agree in the end? No, but I'm going to truly understand where you're coming from. Wow. Okay. Cool. So, what's this tree of life bit? This is what brings us together. I had this dream the other night. It was amazing. Me and my mom haven't always gotten along. In fact, there was a time where I was harboring some bitterness, and my plan was, when she died, I would, first of all, never speak to her again, and then when she died, I would come to her funeral only to speak to everyone and let everyone know what she was really like, according to my judgments. Right? Ooh, how wicked, how mischievous can you get? In fact, I do this subconsciously all the time. We harbor judgments. Some of them were exposed about some very dear people in my life. You know, like I'm not going to give any real life examples because that would be unkind. I've learned that. Hello, Ruth. Good evening. Afternoon here, Ruth says. It is midnight where I'm at, and I am going to sip on this coffee. I actually drink way more coffee today than I have in a while. Maybe that's why I'm up and bright-eyed, mushy-tailed at midnight, you know? You should try it sometime. It's really fun. I'm ready to put on the performance of my life in this episode of The Truman Show, of The Daniel Levitt Show. So, the way of the tree of life is love. And I had this dream about meeting my mom in a supermarket. She's pushing this cart. I'm like, Mom, let me hold you. I'll help you. So I'm holding her arm. And then I'm like, no, Mom, this isn't enough. I need to carry you. You know, she's got bad knees. She can't walk. So I carry her. I'm holding her. I'm just like, oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. And she was receiving it. And she was like, oh. She finally relaxed. Love triumphs over judgment. Isn't that what the Bible says? Yeah, mercy triumphing over judgment. The new covenant is established in the way of the tree of life, not the way of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the stuff that causes division. Because if you stick around anybody for long enough, oh yeah, you're going to find those areas you don't agree on. Okay? And it will cause division, a wall of offense. People unwilling to see things from the other person's perspective, the other point of view. Let me just tell you, Jesus sees it from your perspective. That's what entering into and becoming sin is all about. He sees every deviation. He became it. He understood you. He came and saw it through your eyes, the way you see it, the way you feel it and experience it, your truth, your reality, your judgments. He became all your judgments. He became all your judgments. Experiencing all the death of that, all the separation, when we were meant to be together, when we were meant to love each other. Mercy triumphs over judgment. Love triumphs over judgment. This is the way I have spoken. Blank, blank. Like those wise trolls. You got to listen to the trolls, right? Elsa knew that. Anna and Elsa, and they knew. And that one caribou guy, whatever his name is, Sven. Was Sven the... They were both Sven, weren't they? Yeah. That's easy. So listen to your wise troll here. I'm probably was a troll in a previous life. Okay? Probably was. The wise kind. The ones that turn into rocks and, you know, crystals, and we carry all the wisdom of the universe in the crystal. Yes. Maybe. Well, I hope you're having a fun evening. I know I am. Just had the most brilliant conversations with my wife about this stuff, you know, judgments that we carry. Like I was telling her, I said, we will never see eye to eye on certain things. You carry a judgment about that. I carry another judgment. And I used lots of examples. One of them was about the F word, right? To me, the judgments that I have about the F word are, it's just an expression of angst that's kind of really appropriate in some circumstances. I don't I don't have no offense about it, you know. I actually see that it's an expression. I don't judge it, you know. But she's like, well, if you look at the etymology of the word and what it's referring to and how disgusting and despicable that is, and you should be offended like I am about that. I'm like, I'm not. I don't accept your judgment about that. You know, and you don't accept my judgment about it. So we have a judgment about a word, about a 4-letter word. We have a judgment about it. Just the word itself, just as an expression, a verbal expression. And how she could hear that and be offended and judge the person who said it. And I could be like, yeah, bro, F that, right? You know, like I could respond in kind, and I'm totally with them. I understand them, you know, for what it is. That's pretty cool, actually. We should understand each other a whole lot more instead of taking up offense in the way of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. My wife is so sick of me saying that. Like, tree of knowledge, good and evil. She hears that like 100 times a day. Because like when I'm exploring something, I'm like, all right, let's explore it. I want to know. I want to learn. I got more revelation about it tonight. Because here's what the Bible says about the law. He says it was delivered by angels, right? It was delivered by angels. Written by the finger of God. Yes, I'm not denying that at all. But delivered by angels, the scripture says. Huh. Now that's interesting, don't you think? Huh. What's going on here? What is Daniel getting at? I don't even know. I'm stalling for time so I can figure something out. Aren't you up to my tricksy ways? You're not on to me yet? I do have a point. It's not, it's food for thought is what it is. Where was I? Another stall. Another evasive maneuver. Ah, yes, drinking the coffee. That's a perfect way to stall. What was I saying? Anybody have any comments besides good evening? Okay. I guess everyone's asleep. All right. So it was delivered by angels. But God took credit for it because he takes full responsibility for everything that happens under the sun. Everything his children do, he says, I did it. Jesus says, I did it. No matter if it's delivered by angels, he's like, okay, I did it. Somehow I've got to rectify this. What does he do? Well, he realizes the good intentions. I don't even know. See, I'm simplifying everything right now at this touch. I'm talking like a complete idiot, like somebody who's never even read the Bible, which I have. The law is good, right? What was its purpose, though? It was a ministry of condemnation. It was a ministry of death. The law had a ministry attached to it of death. And I had this revelation today that Jesus came, and what did he deliver out of his mouth? A sword. I've come to bring a sword, he says, which is the word of God, a sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Right? Divide even to joints and marrow or something like that, right? You know, where this is a surgical, sharp samurai sword. Jesus is bringing that proceeds from his mouth, his word. What did it do? It killed all his enemies. And who were his enemies? Every single last one of us were his enemies. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Ooh. So his sword kills us? Yes, it does. In fact, he upped the ante. when he came about the law, didn't he? He says not just the physical act, I'm sorry, of adultery. No, it's if you look with lust. You're guilty of the whole law. If you hate, I'm sorry, if you hate, same as murder. If you say you fool, you're, in danger of the fire of hell. Raka, right? Whatever that meant. Probably wasn't too pleasant of a word in that culture. What does Raka mean? Good question for Google. It is not a Greek word. It's an Aramaic word, reka, which literally means empty one, but probably meant empty-headed or foolish. Scholars seem divided on how grievous an insult it was. All right. Empty-headed, empty one. You're an empty one. It literally means empty one. You're not empty. You have the fullness of God living in you, no matter who you are. You're not empty. Do you see why it's interesting if we took it literally? If it literally means something. If it literally means you're empty. No, you're not empty one. You're not an empty one. You're not isolated, alone. That is hell. You see? If you're thinking about someone else, you're thinking about yourself. If you think anyone is an empty one, I don't know, I'm stretching here, But seriously, whatever we do to the least of these, we do it to Jesus and we do it to ourselves. They're another version of you, no matter who you're talking about. Who are you thinking of right now? Think of your worst enemy. That's you doing that to you. Another version of you doing that to you. So stop it. If you don't want to do that to yourself, don't do it anymore. Ask yourself to stop. And stop doing it yourself, because that's probably why it's happening to you. That's what karma is all about. You're getting back what you put out in the world. You are getting out what you put out in the world. So I did something silly yesterday. I was so depressed. I went on my channel and all my live streams, I took them off air. I'll probably re-engage them just because I don't have anything to hide, really. This is a chronicles of my journey that I'm sharing with you. Chronicles of my journey. And I wanted to jump on tonight and share this stuff because this was huge. My judgments will never agree with your judgments. I'm sorry, but we will not meet or ever have unity on the basis of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We will not. I will make sure of it. But we can meet in the way of the tree of life. And here's the beauty part about it is, time is the currency of your life. And what if it is spent? What if you spend all the currency of your life, your time, devoted to what? The way of the tree of life, which is love, which is light and love. What if that's all you did? And it involved playing chess, and it involved playing blitz, and it involved lots of play. Because we show each other love, we show ourselves love through play. It will involve a lot of play. What if it's a passion too? What if creating music is the way you spend your life, dedicated to light and love? Yeah, think about it. What if all the currency of your life, time, is spent in the way of the tree of life, and it gives no time for you to operate? No time to operate in the way of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, of death and division and judgments. You don't have time to think about the fact that you judge that. What if you allow yourself no time and you're completely consumed with the way of the tree of life? This is the way I have spoken. Very satisfying, isn't it? Coming to this conclusion that love ultimately is the answer. Once again, I'm feeling very super intelligent right now because I'm listening to super intelligent binaural beats in the background. In fact, I'm gonna try something else, honestly. Whoa. Got alpha waves. We could do some binaural beats for lucid dreaming. Yeah, let's do that. Binaural beats, lucid dreaming. Heck yeah. Maybe I'll astral project tonight. Wouldn't that be fun? Enter the astral realm. I'm gonna listen to this one. Heck yeah, for 10 hours. Are you kidding me? Uh-oh, there's an ad. Somebody's telling me that binaural beats can slow my astral projection journey down. Oh no, now I want to click on him. He seems to be convincing. Yeah, why? Let me explain. If you just listen to binaural beats, your subconscious is saying, I do not have the ability to astral project naturally. I need something to induce an OBE. I need to look something out there that's going to help me induce an OBE, which kind of misses the point. Astral projection is natural ability. We all have this ability, and we used to do it effortlessly all the time. But what happens is we programmed, conditioned by society and various powers. We've lost this ability. We forgot that we could astral project naturally. Now it's kind of like a weird new age term. People assume it's difficult or impossible. And when they try to do it, they look for something out there, like a binaural beat or an isoclinic tone or whatever, that's going to help them induce an OBE. You don't need any of that. In fact, when you do that, you're subconsciously blocking yourself from actually being able to do it. And if you do want to astral project, and it's not for everybody, but if you do want to do it, then you need to follow a proven system that combines what you do with your body, your mind, your soul, and kind of the habits that you have throughout your day. I've created a proven system, and if you follow it, it takes about 10, 15 minutes a day, you will astral project in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, it's simple as that. It's not for everybody, but if you do want to get through that, if you do actually want to astral project very soon, then click this ad, go through the course, the Astral Discovery course, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay, hope you caught all of that. There you go. Who else wants to astral project with me? Do it. You don't need those binaural beats. This might be telling you not subconsciously, blocking you for an ability that you can do effortlessly by faith. By faith. I'm gonna do it right now. Let's do this. That is nonsense. What does that do? I don't know. It's me a little cheeky to all my religious friends. It's me kind of giving the finger to religion. I tend to like to do that. Yeah, why do I like to do that? It's fun. You should try it sometime. Or not, I don't care. I'm saying F all those judgments that people may have against me for just holding my hands like this, really, in my lap, really, sitting up straight. You think you're going to judge me for breathing? Really? You're judging me for breathing? I don't judge you for breathing. Oh, for being still. Is that what you're judging me? For meditating. You're judging me for meditating. Hmm. Indravesham Sundara Kultaman King Hetalan Shamandrakai Shino Sandra Kotan. Temenda Betelan, Vishno Sandraka. Kindai Talaman, Vishno Sandrakai. Hindai Talon, Vishno San. Tanakai Lanen Ekinai. Hindai Talon. Kunda Hedenemen. Vishno Sandrakai Tanaka. Tamanakai Shindro Sun Mokota. Tenemetele. Shiniatolo Vishno San. Kinatalove ten Hindaka Tanoshan Mosundra Koton Hindaitelon Vishan Mosandrakai Kinatatolo Chandrokushan Sandraka Bendetelon Chandrokun Men Kia Wanda Beshindiala Sandrako Nakai ten Shinwa Sandaka Demendametelan Chandrokushan Sendialatan Chineke Lueshin Mosendia Chineke Talon Huile Talama Hemenake Talaweshimosan Kindae Talan Hanlakaiten Tenehe Shinialatan Huanda Tala Shon Sandra Kaltamon Chin Mekelehi Kindakalutan Chinakolue Shinmosandra Kal Chinakai Talamon Huenda Hetelan Tenehe Shinmosandra Kutan Kina Talaweten Hinda Itelan Hueshimo Sandro Kotan, Shin Mokoele, Hishinakai, Quende Telan, Shinokeshana Sa, Samondre Betelan, and Betelian, Shinokoshino Samraka. And this is for posterity. So be honest. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? Interesting. How are you tonight? I don't know who's watching. So this is kind of what I did for fun. Do for fun. Here I am. I have another video where my hood is like floppy on my shoulder like that. This is the other side, I believe. It's my red hoodie. The only reason I'm wearing this coat right now is actually because I'm still wearing that red hoodie and I didn't want you to know it. So I'm hiding it with this coat. Tricky, aren't I? Anissa, hello. You're surfing with Jesus, just riding the waves. Thank you. Thank you for your love. So fun. This is a really a profound message in this, and I want to share this with you just more directly about the way of the tree of life. This is something I've been exploring since a year and a half ago, right after my awakening. I started getting coaching on this, especially from my spirit guides, because I needed help. I had so many obstacles, so many blockages in my mind. So thick were my filters of judgments from living in this realm of duality, polarities, right and wrong, black and white, all that stuff, right? The way of the tree of life. So it started, I'll tell you a story. It started with, I call up my friend. Oh, get a hold of his mom. His mom says, they left. Where'd they go? Who's they? Oh, yeah, Mitchell and no. And his friend went up to rainbow gathering. I was like, rainbow gathering? I've always wanted to go to the rainbow gathering. Always. It's where basically like Woodstock Renaissance without the bands. Very nice, very cool, very cool, very cool. So I wanted to go. So the day I went up to my concert, only to find out that the place I was booked at to play had shut down. The building was empty. And I thought, I just drove north for nothing. Maybe not for nothing. Because the Rainbow Gathering is happening just 4 or 5 more hours north. I'm going to go. So I drove halfway there. And I realized, you know what? I have concerts tomorrow morning. I'll get there at what, 6 p.m. I'll stay some of the evening. I have to turn right around. This does not make any sense. I can't continue. I was at a McDonald's at the time, using their Wi-Fi, trying to figure out where I was and where I was going. Finally, I realized I can't go. And since I made the decision to turn for home, all these judgments flooded in my heart to protect me from my dashed hopes. I think, like, all of a sudden I'm judging my friends and I'm judging the whole Rainbow Gathering. And I was remembering what I was seeing on these maps, like, oh, here's where the swingers meet. You can have some sex in the woods if you want to, you know? Which I did see some of that when I was there. Not the sex part, but just people open to that form of intimacy. Who isn't open to that form of intimacy in the right context, or in the wrong context, or in just what context they allow themselves? Really? Because we're all our own judges. We all have our own filters of right and wrong, good and bad, right? We all have our own filters composed of a myriad of judgments. We all have our own filters, and none of our filters agree. You're your own judge of the world. And by the way, as a son of God, as a fractal of the living God who he respects as an equal, your words matter. And you're manifesting all kinds of realities, all kinds of movements. And hopefully we're learning from our mistakes and we're learning love. I think we are. I think we are learning love. I think we are learning from our mistakes. So my heart was filled with judgments. I'm driving home. Driving home, my heart's way down with judgments. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? I have all these judgments. It hurts. I'm miserable. I'm in misery right now. I'm in agony with all those judgments. I'm like, I get home and I'm like, honey, I just need to go pray. So I locked myself in my computer room. I put these headphones on with some music, and I started speaking in tongues like I was just a bit earlier. And lo and behold, one of my spirit guides shows up, Native American spirit guide, who, yes, did live a Native American life. 1625 is the year. Plains Indian of some sort. Maybe Lakota. That bug. So my Native American spirit guide, started teaching me about the tree of life and how to view people from love of the Father. I didn't know this because I was never, in fact, it was hard for me to even accept even recently, like tonight even, that the Father doesn't carry all those judgments. He has no judgments against you. He doesn't carry any judgments. He just loves you. He is truly that Father with those open arms. Let's run my arms. No judgments. And that is accurate. that is accurate to my experience of the Father. At the age of what, maybe 12, I'm in my treehouse. Maybe you know the story, maybe you don't, but Papa God came to me in Shekinah glory, energy ball. This is my Father. Oh my gosh. No judgment, just compassion. No judgment. That's what most stood out to me. No judgment. Wow. Okay. So he doesn't carry any judgment. We thought he did. We thought Papa was agreeing with our judgments. We were meeting him on that level. At least we were trying to. And that's what religion is. That's where all the division comes in. And that's why Christianity, Western Christianity, is a lot like Hinduism with its 33 million gods. And if it's based in the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it's not Papa at the end of the day. And Jesus came to reveal our Papa to us in the way of the tree of life that supersedes the one that brought death. Remember? Tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I know a lot of you right now are operating. Oh, now it's got personal. Are operating in the way of the true knowledge of good and evil. And I just say that as like an assumption because most of us are. And I did today. I spent most of the day depressed because I was operating in the way of, and it's just it's a moment by moment choice. Do you want to let your time, the currency of your life, be dominated by the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or the way of the tree of life? It's your choice. Which one will you eat from in this moment? How about in this moment? At any time, you can pick up a fence. You can pick up a fence, and separate us. Create a barrier between us. You can do that at any moment. You can eat from the tree, the knowledge of good and evil. See, I told you my wife's sick of me saying that because I'll just go on these like rants. I will just go on these like I'm doing now, and I've said it like 25 times, already. That's a long phrase to say. Tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's long. Yes. Native American spirit guides. Kaleidoscope. I love that. Goddess healing. Okay. Still a process. All right. Jesus gave me a new pair of peace shoes. That's cool. What is a spirit guide? I saw somebody answered that already. A guide from the spiritual realms. There are many different beings. That's so true. Some of them are terrestrial. Some of them are extraterrestrial. Interdimensional beings. Some are not even of this world. But a lot of them are. Because, like, that's what makes sense. Honestly. For us. Humans dealing with humans, right? It's developing the human story. Yeah. Cool, Anissa. Bit of Native American spirit guide too. You need to pray for the Q cult. Oh, I forgot what that was. Like, I've been out of the political realm for a few days. I kind of forgot about it. That's what happens when you get depressed, so depressed that you delete all your videos off your YouTube channel, like I just did last night. Well, thankfully I didn't delete them all. I just stuck them to private, a lot of them, but I'll probably bring them back. I can't imagine who goes back in time to watch these things anyway. It's just like we're right in the current moment right now together, which is kind of cool. There's something special about that, isn't it? I'm live and in person. Right? Like watching all these marks making on my forehead. It's my fingers. I'm wondering, why am I doing this? Hey, yay, live. Kimberly Wolfson. You're now internet famous. So I just said your name on my live broadcast, and I have at least 2,000 subscribers. I am not of this world. Me, my body, clay vessel, is of the earth and will return to it. But the I is not. I thank Creator for this opportunity, this blessing of life, of experience. Thank you, ray of thought, to spread unconditional love from the divine Creator. I don't know. I think I did an episode where I was talking about Thoth prophecy, which is so beautiful. So I appreciate your name. I honor your name, Ray of Thoth, that you chose that. Be your online entity, avatar. Kimberly, I'm glad you're here and thank you for joining. I don't know where a lot of you live. Like for me, it's 12:38 a.m. Started just before midnight. Yeah, I'm a night owl. I like it. I like thinking about all these things, developing my understanding of the intricacies of the difference between the tree of knowledge of good and evil, tree of life, and how this is a metaphor for how you get to spend every moment of your life, any moment of your life. It's your choice. One leads to misery, isolation, hell, and one leads to everlasting life, light and love. Anissa, thank you. You're a gemstone from heaven. Anissa, see how I turned that around? You're a gift from heaven to the only, the blessed, and lonely. All right, you're in Washington State, Kimberly. I grew up there in Spokane, Washington. I visited Seattle. I have some good memories there, and lots of other places. Which city? And no, I will not go to bed. What city in Washington State? And Ray of Thought says, yes, I resonate deeply with that prophecy, a play on the ray of thought. My name, a ray of thought. I embody a lot of aspects of thought. Funny, I live in the Spokane Valley, Washington. What? This is my sister. You probably live down the street from my sister in Spokane Valley. Yeah, I remember when they switched names. Like, now we're gonna call this the Spokane Valley. Different entity entirely from that Spokane over there. That ray of Thoth. Do you remember? Are you old enough to remember when the what was it? The World's Fair came to Spokane, and everything changed. All those Californians came and moved up and ruined our beautiful land with all those gangs. Yeah. Just kidding. I actually grew up in the gang culture in Spokane, Washington. Caroline, you're from New York State. Cool. So like 141 there. And you're a transplant. Which city were you, Kimberly? I do like all the decor downtown that they put up for that in Spokane, that they put up for the World's Fair. Wonderful city. Oh, so beautiful. I love going down there to Riverfront Park, playing hacky sack with my friend, and my mom still lives there in Spokane. I visited there last summer and came and picked up a motorcycle. I went up to the north side of Spokane. Yeah, you know where Calvary Chapel is? It's right across the street, basically, from there. It's where my dad lives. And you're in Olympia. I once went to Olympia. I once went to Olympia. My sister was checking out Olympia College, and so we went to this college in Olympia, and they decided they didn't like it, or it was isolated, or like too far from home, and all that stuff. So yeah, you know all about that Ray of Thoth, Calvary Chapel on the north side of Spokane. You know, I went to the Healing Room. Have you been to the Healing Room of Spokane? I made it a point to visit there, and I think there's some connection with that and what's his name? It's a historical guy that used to live in Spokane, make and with his healing powers made it the healthiest city in the United States according to official records. Remember that? I'm talking about Adventures in God, John G. Lake. All right. So yeah, you love Riverfront Park. They've changed a lot, but still wonderful. The Big Red Wagon. Yes, my kids slid down that. We went there and we did the carousel. They stuck going there. I ran Doomsday. Yeah, John G. Lake of Thoth. Yes, you should get familiar with that and go to the healing rooms. Just check it out, just to go get prayed for. It's really kind of cool. It's downtown. Um, yeah, I struggle with a lot of bad memories from Spokane days. Like I don't know, just too many bad memories, too many fractured relationships and pain, divorce of my parents, and gang situations that made me feel very unsafe anywhere. Anyway, you have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old? Wow, that's so cool. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old too. You understand, you did lots of dumb stuff when you were younger. You understand. But yeah, the Lord healed a lot of my childhood trauma by just visiting there again. I often will visit the home I grew up in spirit, you know, for various things. I shut a lot out. Yeah, we do that with our memories, you know. Like if there's too much trauma attached to memories, we just blank it out, compartmentalize. I do that until what? Until what? You know, honestly, we didn't process. We don't know how to behave emotionally. We're aloof. I'm serious. Like I can, if I'm in a traumatic situation, just like I hop out of my body. I'm just the observer. I'm like, I wonder how I would, if I were engaged in a situation, I wonder what that would feel like. Huh, you know, disengaged. Yeah. But we're here to be observers, right? Observers of divine consciousness, observers of our own life. So Ray of Thought says, yes, Nisa, I have been having so many random memories come back as I have been healing many old wounds. It's amazing how they are connected to things I wouldn't realize. Healing one heals another. And I don't necessarily need to read all the comments because some of this is from, to each other and stuff. So sorry for making their private conversation over there public. Love you guys. That is the way of the tree of life. It's love. 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 And that's how Jesus did it. That's how Jesus saved the world. He went to a demon in hell, for example. It's a metaphor. Metaphorically speaking, he went to the lowest demon in hell, who would say of the Father, I don't agree with your judgments. And Jesus entered his sin and said, I see it from your perspective. I truly understand you. How does it feel to be truly understood? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice to be truly understood from Jesus? And then the assurance that you're saved because, like, hey, he resurrected and he brought me with him. Wow. He ascended and he brought me with him. Yay. I have a higher self that's totally jacked in to the creamy center of God's goodness. I'm right in the middle of the Twinkie, right in the creamy center of the Twinkie of God. Did you know that God is a Twinkie? That's what my show that was leading up to this moment to reveal that to you. And see how satanic the world has gotten? They shut down the Twinkie shop. Did you know that? That's a war on God. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you share your experiences wonderfully. Come visit Olympia, the capital of Washington State. Good night, lovers of the tree of life. Yay. Bless you guys. I'm gonna go on privatize all my videos that I made private because I was depressed yesterday. I obviously have turned a corner and I've begun to accept myself once again and not live under the judgments of others, which send me to hell. Yes, if we live under the judgments of others, we send ourselves to hell. And we're worthy and unconditionally loved beyond measure, forgiven always, divine grace. LOL Twinkie. Our loving Twinkie in the sky. Yes. Invest in God Twinkies. We're having fun tonight, huh? I am. Thank you for joining me. Here to entertain. You never know what this guy's going to say. Might just say something really weird. I'm actually listening to something weird. I'm actually listening to this guided meditation. Just giving it a chance. I'm just having an open mind here about Christ consciousness. My friend sent me this, so I'm going to send it on to you. Putting in the chat here. Full video he sent me that I was thinking about listening to. I haven't listened to much of it yet, but I started to, and there's something about a light above your head and like, I was like, oh yeah, I feel that. So it was like really cool. So maybe you give it a chance too and see what you think. Your son suffers from PTSD. I'm sorry. I wonder how many of us do on some level or another. We post-traumatics. We all carry trauma to some degree, I think. I know I have. And just pour your heart out to the Lord, knowing that He fully embraces you, accepts you, cherishes you at this stage of your growth right now. He's not waiting for you to get any better for you to be acceptable. No, for yourselves. It says it's holy and acceptable. He accepts you just as you are. You're holy and acceptable just as you are in your current state of maturity, whatever it looks like. He sees it as beautiful. So guided meditations can be very helpful. Just be aware of how you feel during it. You can always turn it off and stop if it's something that doesn't resonate. Thank you for saying that. Yes, you can. You are master of your own destiny. So sometimes guided meditations are helpful. My friend Truth Seeker, he has made some very, very deep and profound guided meditations. I love them. And they're worth investing in too. If you want to purchase them, you can go to truthseeker.com. Check out his guided meditations. They're $10. maybe. There might be a free one too, free sample, something rather. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep this under an hour for sure. So I only have 5 minutes left. Is there any other thoughts you'd like to share, or questions you might have that for the spirit guides that I'm connected with? Thank you for accepting me as I am. I don't need you to agree with me, though. I mean, my wife hardly does. I'm kidding, but not really. I mean, we have our disagreements. We don't see eye to eye on everything. None of us do. That's why I'm saying the tree of life is the way to go. It brings absolute unity. I can honor you and celebrate you, and see your perspective too. And once I do, once I acknowledge your perspective, there's no pain, no misery in that. There really isn't. It's like, wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Caroline, about your son suffering from PTSD. Let's pray for him, for sure. Thank you for bringing that up. Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. I'm going to speak in tongues first of all, see what happens. Jonathan. Lord. Oh, yes. Let's pray in tongues. Let's pray in tongues. It's good. Good to do. Benediction Masandra Demo. Medike Shindiatan. Chandrakai Shin Masandra Kotama. Chimonbekelan. Mandebetelan Shindraya. Kindai Telama. Hwendesh Masandra Kotama. Tinakeran. Noloish Masandra Kotama. He doesn't have to stay there. Prison gates are open. I think he likes it. He enjoys where he's at, and we shouldn't judge him for it. He likes exploring that, and he's not done. And so God's patient, but has never left him or forsaken him, is there with him, exploring that with him. His feelings. He blames himself for not feeling to the full extent that he should have. And so he's exploring that to feel, to restore and awaken feeling. So he's choosing to stay there, and it's okay. It's okay. We can accept his decision as perfectly a wonderful, valid choice. Perfect, wonderful, valid choice. Yeah, it was never meant to be just run away from or locked away. To embrace your sadness, to embrace your grief, to fully process trauma. Guys, I love you. I'll say that. So I was praying for your son, Caroline. That's what I got. You could tell me if that resonates with you. There's no way out, but there's a way in. Through the valley of the shadow of death. Table prepared before you in the presence of your enemies. Wookie foot. Hear it. Okay, so you say above that, is that's a good thing? Or it's how you keep balance, relationship. I've been working on embodying the divine masculine, understanding that what that really means to me, to our roles in our marriage. Yeah, second that. I know what you're referring to. Yeah. So don't doubt yourself, my friends. Don't doubt yourselves because you're accepted and beloved. You're loved. And I love you. I'll just tell you, I celebrate you for you. I celebrate you in your current state of growth. You don't have to change at all. Fully celebrate. In fact, I'll be like, oh no, he started pronouncing that correctly. It's like that's how heaven views us. Oh no, he's growing up too fast. Don't grow up too fast. Come on. Just be yourself, enjoy your life. That's what heaven wants in every stage of your development. It's what every parent wants for their kids. Don't grow up too fast. Heaven's saying that to you. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Enjoy exploring whatever it is you want to explore. Enjoy learning about whatever it is you want to learn. Enjoy creating whatever it is you want to create. We're here to help every step of the way. If you want to strategize with us, let's do that. Okay? There's absolutely no judgment. If you don't want it, that's fine. No judgment. Unconditional love and acceptance, allowance, grace for where we are on our paths. Thank you. Lovely comment. Ah, it's lovely. Well, thanks for spending some time with me tonight. I am going to sign off. Bye now.